Well, folks, the house of cards is finally coming down. On the one side, you've got Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, accused of playing games with not one, but two mortgage applications, claiming two primary residences at the same time. How do you even do that? This is mortgage fraud, punishable by 30 years in prison. And now the Justice Department is circling. She says it's bullying. I say it's corruption, and the evidence is mounting. But this is only half the story, because the exact same time that this is happening, another American institution is collapsing under woke insanity. Cracker Barrel. This is the place that you remember from childhood road trips and Sunday lunches. It is down 55% in 5 years, gutted by a CEO obsessed with DEI checklists and sterile rebrands instead of family and tradition. The customers are boycotting, the stock is cratering, and woke barrel is the laughing stock of the internet. But think about this, guys. A Federal Reserve official accused of fraud, a corporate giant losing half of its value after going completely woke, and Democrats still defending lawlessness while President Trump restores order in Washington, D.C., murders down, carjackings are down, robberies are down. That's the contrast, guys. And so here's the real question. If a federal governor can allegedly lie on mortgage applications and still clean the power, if corporate America can just burn billions of dollars chasing rainbow logos while customers walk away, then how much longer until these elites hit rock bottom? Well, we're going to go ahead and break down the smoking gun here, guys. Evidence that could end Lisa Cook's career as we know it and possibly land her in prison for a very long time. The unbelievable details of Cracker Barrel's woke collapse and what it really means for every company in America. And of course, the warning from a Republican senator that Democrats still haven't hit rock bottom, and why President Trump's crackdown is actually exposing it all. Guys, I'll tell you right now, the rot runs deep, and we're going to go ahead and name some names. Comment down below if you want me to name some names. If you appreciate the news updates, hit the like button and subscribe. All right, folks, let's lock in on what's happening right now. All right, so America, it's staring at count them two massive implosions at the exact same time. So on one side, you got Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook caught in a firestorm of her own making. Okay, guys, we're talking about allegations that are so serious, they could put her behind bars for 30 years. Why? Because apparently she thought she could play games with the mortgage system. Who else did that recently or allegedly? Wasn't it Big Tish? Something like that? Yeah. So we're starting to see more and more of this pattern. What about Adam Schiff? Anyway, because apparently they think that they're above the law. Two different mortgage applications just 2 weeks apart, both claiming to be her primary residence. One in Michigan and one in Georgia. Folks, you can't have two primaries, can you? I don't think so. Not legally. You get one, period. Now, this isn't some random paperwork mistake. This is someone who sits on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, someone literally entrusted with the setting of interest rates that affect every mortgage in America. And she is accused of lying on her own mortgage application to get herself a sweeter deal. Do you see the problem here, guys? So the Department of Justice is clearly circling this mess. Mortgage fraud carries up to 3 decades in prison, if proven. And yet, what does Lisa Cook do? She doubles down. She tells the media, this is nothing more than bullying. Bullying? What? No, this is accountability. And for the first time in years, guys, under President Trump, elites like her don't just get to shrug off fraud as if the rules don't apply to them. Because there's somebody else in this story here, guys. Bill Pulte. You may have heard of him. He's the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And he's one of the ones who flagged Lisa Cook's application and said, hold up. We got a problem here. And Pulte isn't mincing words, guys. He's calling this a smoking gun, saying mortgage fraud is mortgage fraud. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, it really doesn't matter. And in President Trump's America, you don't get a pass just because you've got the right political connections. So let's think about that for a second, all right? I mean, a sitting Fed governor being investigated for mortgage fraud. Do you realize how big this is? I mean, this isn't some no-name bureaucrat, right? This is one of the people who's running the most powerful financial institution on earth. Now, if she gets cooked, what does this say about the integrity of the whole system, right? So here's the thing, guys. This is not just the Fed, because while Lisa Cook's mortgage scandal explodes in Washington, something else is collapsing out in the real world, and it's hitting people in their memories, in their wallets, and their hearts, guys. I'm talking about Cracker Barrel. Now, me personally, I'm from New York, and I used to only see Cracker Barrel when we would drive and like go down south for like vacation or whatever. But they have the best pancakes. I'm just saying, I don't care what's going on. They still got the best pancakes. Let me know if y'all know anything about the Cracker Barrel pancakes. Anyway, so the restaurant chain that many of us have grew up with, road trips, family breakfast, biscuits, gravy after Sunday service, it has gone straight into the ditch. Why? Because its new CEO decided to scrap tradition, ignore her customers, and chase the woke rebrand playbook. The stock is down 55% over 5 years. Nearly half of the value of the Cracker Barrel stock is gone in less than a year after being under this new CEO's leadership. Boycotts, memes, customers walking away in disgust. Cracker Barrel, now mocked as Woke Barrel, is being roasted online and abandoned in real life, guys. So I want to connect the dots, all right? So one side, a Federal Reserve governor who thought she could cheat the system, but the other side is a corporate CEO who thought that she could just cheat her customers. Both are learning the same hard truth. You can't spit in the face of the people who make America work and get away with it. All right. So here's a question that nobody's asking, but everybody should be asking. If a Fed official can allegedly lie on her mortgage application, and if a beloved American brand can destroy itself chasing woke nonsense, then what other institutions are being hollowed out right under our noses? Like, when you pictured retirement, did you picture stressing out over whether your Medicare plan was going to be ripping you off? Of course not. Like, who does that, right? But what exactly happens when people don't review their coverage? Well, this is why I partner with Chapter. They help you protect your retirement that you've worked so hard for. Now, one of our viewers said it best. Chapter made me feel like retirement could finally be about enjoying life, not worrying about my medical bills. I love that. So here's the real question, guys. Like, why should you be the only one still stressing when everybody else is finding peace of mind? Well, most people are already calling the number at the bottom of the screen right now. I mean, or they're visiting the website online. Retirement should be about freedom and not fear. So you can call them now. Phone number is 909-563-8279. And the cool thing is they're giving my viewers 100% free help. Zero pressure. I love it. So here's where the double standard really jumps right off the page, right? So think back to what Donald Trump and forget that. Think back to what Democrats and their allies did to Trump. Y'all remember that, right? They dragged him through the years and years of fake, bogus legal battles, courtesy of Letitia James in New York, Fannie Willis. Who else was there? Jack Smith. So their claim is that Trump had committed mortgage fraud because he overstated the value of his properties. Isn't it funny that these people have allegedly done the exact same thing that they tried to accuse Trump of? But here's the truth. Trump actually wrote down his estimates. Banks like Deutsche Bank actually reviewed those estimates. They ran their own valuations, and then they made their own decisions to lend. There were no victims. There were no losses. There was no fraud. There was no lies. And it was all proven. And these banks made the decisions anyway, and they all got paid, and the banks made money off Donald Trump, and the banks want to give Trump more money. And so just this month, the appellate court confirmed exactly that, guys. They said that the case had no merit. It was a witch hunt, period. Now, compare that with Lisa Cook's situation, all right? This ain't about somebody who's saying their building is worth $50 million instead of $40 million. This is about somebody who's, filling out two separate mortgage applications, 14 days apart, claiming to be her primary residence. Folks, that's not opinion. That is not even subjective. That sounds like a lie to me. That is a felony. And yet, what does Bloomberg say? They don't call it fraud. They call it a new Trump weapon. Can you believe that, guys? When Trump is accused, it's called lawfare. When a Fed official is accused, suddenly it's called political bullying. You see, this is hypocrisy that rots a nation from the inside out. All right. One standard for Trump and conservatives, another standard for Democrats and elites. And Americans see it. They're sick of it. And you know who else sees it? The market sees it. Because while Lisa Cook clings to her power at the Fed, pretending she's the victim, another institution is collapsing in real time. Cracker Barrel. So let me paint the picture. For decades, Cracker Barrel was part of America's soul. It wasn't just a restaurant. It was an experience, like the rocking chairs out front, you know, I was going to say the little checkerboards. It was those massive checkerboards in the front. The antique decor that kind of reminded you of simpler times, the peg game on every table, and the food, well, kind of felt like grandma's kitchen, you know, fried chicken, biscuits, gravy, and it wasn't fancy. It was family. And of course, we can't forget about those pancakes, right? So what did the CEO do? Julie Fells Massino. Well, she took a wrecking ball to all of it. She tore down the Americana identity. She scrubbed all the logos. She ripped out the antiques. She remodeled 70 stores into sterile cookie cutter corporate showrooms that look more like a Bed Bath & Beyond than a family diner. You know what I mean? She shoved millions into DEI quotas, into pride sponsorships, into woke campaigns that customers never asked for. And the result? Customers revolted, memes exploded, people started calling it woke barrel, and the stock, oh my God, it absolutely cratered, down 20% in just 1 week, down 40% since Massino took charge, down 55% over 5 years. Now, it's a case study in the law of reality. If you go woke, you go broke. Who did that before? Oh yeah, it happened to Bud Light. You remember what happened with Bud Light, right? It happened with Disney. It's happening right now to Target, and it's now happening to I almost called it Crapper Barrel. I almost called it Crapper Barrel. It's now happening to Cracker Barrel, guys. So, I mean, you just can't spit in the face of your customers and expect them to keep showing up, right? So this is the same arrogance as Lisa Cook. Elites who believe that the rules don't apply to them. CEOs who believe that they're smarter than the people that they serve. They rewrite the rules for themselves, and then they destroy everything else in the process. So here's the kicker, guys. This absolute collapse in corporate America, it kind of mirrors the collapse in the blue cities that are being run by Democrats. Senator Eric Schmitt, he's warning that Democrats haven't even hit rock bottom yet. And of course, I want to show you how all of this is all connected, right? These are all smaller parts of a whole, because the same arrogance that destroyed Cracker Barrel is now destroying our cities. And Trump, well, he's proving law and order actually still does work. So Senator Eric Schmitt of Missouri, he said something this week that kind of hit me like a freight train. Democrats haven't even hit rock bottom yet. And you know what? I think he's right. I mean, look at the world around us, guys. On one side, you got Lisa Cook at the Federal Reserve accused of lying on mortgage applications, not once, but twice in 2 weeks, and refusing to step aside. But on the other side, you got Julie Massino at Cracker Barrel, torching one of the most iconic brands in America to worship at the altar of the woke ideology. Now, different arenas, admittedly, the halls of Washington finance and the tables of small town America, but it's the same sickness. Elites making reckless decisions that hurt everybody else and then acting like they're the victims. And so it's not just about corruption. It's about the cost of the corruption. So when Democrats refuse to enforce law and order, it's the working families who end up paying the price. When woke CEOs destroy customer trust, it's jobs, pensions, and communities that take the hit. So now I want to pause and just kind of compare like what's happening under Trump's leadership. In Washington, D.C., under Biden, murders were spiraling, carjackings were through the roof, robberies were an everyday horror, families in black neighborhoods were forced to live like prisoners in their own communities. And what did Biden do? He painted Black Lives Matter on the streets and then went back to the beach in Delaware. Trump takes office and all of a sudden it's a different story. He brings in law enforcement, ramps up the prosecution, puts boots on the ground, brings in the National Guard. And then what happens? Murders go down, carjackings go down, robberies go down. People start to feel safe again because Trump understands what Biden and the Democrats never will. It's kind of like there's no substitute for law enforcement presence in prosecution. None. So now, if we contrast that with the Democrats and their media allies, instead of celebrating the fact that DC is finally safer, they want to nitpick. They write articles about restaurant reservations in the city as if that's the real metric of success. They will rather see DC fail than admit that Trump's policies are actually working. So I don't know about you, but that's not just hypocrisy, that's betrayal. And so here's where it ties into Lisa Cook's scandal, okay? Because she isn't the only one. The Philadelphia Fed itself admitted 2 years ago that there were at least 22,000 mortgages nationwide that were fraudulent. Cases like Cook's, where people misrepresented their primary residence, 22,000. Guys, 22,000 mortgages nationwide are fraudulent. That's not a mistake. That is a culture of insiders playing by some different rules. And regular Americans already know that. Y'all see that, right? They see it. You can't deduct two mortgages. You can't cheat Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. You can't you can't cheat them by pretending like you live in two places at the same time. And if you did, the DOJ would be on your doorstep tomorrow, wouldn't they? I mean, but if you're, of course, if you're a Fed governor, you get to call it bullying and hide behind some media spin. So it's the same playbook as Cracker Barrel CEO insiders. They get special treatment while people who built these institutions, they get abandoned. Customers get ignored. Shareholders get burned. Employees get betrayed. This is why trust in American institutions is collapsing. Because I'm not going to say everybody, but average citizens, they watch elites like Lisa Cook and Julie Massino break the rules and still be able to cling to power. And they know if the tables were turned, if it were you or me lying on a mortgage app or torching a company for ideology, we would be ruined. Folks, this isn't just mismanagement. This is arrogance. This is the belief that the rules are for you, but not for them. What is it like? I forget what was that thing they say? Like it's not for we. Ignore me, but it's only for we, or something like that. Anyway, this is why I say both our financial elites and these corporate boards really need to get audited. What do y'all think? I personally think they're cooked. Their arrogance has finally got caught up with them. But here's the thing. Corruption, it really doesn't just stop itself, right? Something has to intervene. So, of course, this particular collapse here, this ain't even the end of the story. I want to show you how Trump's stepping in, because he's not just trying to expose this rot. He's trying to restore accountability in government, in business, and in the culture. So the big difference here, guys, the big difference between collapse and restoration here is taking place, and we're seeing it. President Donald J. Trump, he's clearly back in charge. And with Trump back, accountability is back too. So think about what we just walked through, right? Under Biden, corruption thrived. Fauci lied to our faces while laughing it up on magazine covers. Woke corporations, they trashed their own customer base, and they got a pat on the back from the White House. The Federal Reserve officials like Lisa Cook, they would have been shielded, protected. They were untouchable, right? But in Trump's America, that era is now over. Fraud is fraud, no matter who commits it. And the message could not be clearer. If you lie on your mortgage applications, if you manipulate the system for your own personal gain, if you destroy customer trust in pursuit of woke ideology, you don't get a pass anymore. Look at the scorecard, right? In Washington, D.C., Trump took a city that was drowning in crime, and he turned it around. Murders down, carjackings are down, robberies are down. Neighborhoods are safer in just weeks. That's leadership. In the Federal Reserve, the DOJ isn't just looking the other way. They're investigating Lisa Cook. And if she crossed the line, she's going to face the same consequences like anybody else. That's justice. And so in corporate America, the market itself is punishing the woke. Cracker Barrel, Bud Light, Target, Disney, billions of dollars evaporated because customers are done being lectured. That's accountability. Now, Trump is showing that essentially America doesn't have to accept corruption as normal. We don't have to do it. We don't have to shrug our shoulders when insiders play by different rules. We don't have to watch our culture get gutted and pretend like it's progress. And that's why the elites are terrified, because they know that they've been exposed. Lisa Cook's scandal isn't just about one Fed official. It's about the rot that's inside the very institutions that run our money. Cracker Barrel's collapse, it isn't just about one chain restaurant. It's about how woke ideology is hollowing out our culture, one company at a time. So, folks, here's the reality. Both sides of this collapse are connected. So on the one side, you got you have a Fed official that's cooked by her own mortgage lies. On the other side, you got corporate America cooked by its obsession with woke ideology. And together, they prove Eric Schmitt's warning. Democrats and their elite allies, they haven't hit rock bottom yet. They're still defending criminals. They're still popping up failures. And they're still pretending that corruption isn't corruption when it really is. But the reckoning is here. And the American people, we're done being silent. We're done being ignored. And with Trump back in the Oval Office, the days of no accountability are clearly over. So let this be the warning. The collapse is real. The backlash is real. And the fight is far from over. But for the first time in years, we finally have a leader willing to clean house in finance, in law, and in culture. So this is why the elites are cooked. This is why woke corporations are cooked. This is why the future of America belongs to the American people again. So like, subscribe, share, and remember, this fight isn't just about saving Cracker Barrel or cleaning up a Fed scandal. This fight is about saving the country. And with Trump back in charge, America will be saved again.